Alright, so um, this video has obviously been set to unlisted, and the reason for that is to protect people, of course. Um, sort of. So there's a lady in there, her name is Jennifer, and there's actually two videos in this series from just today of Andrew Wolnez breaking the protection order. I'm going to tell you about a situation um, that would be comical if it didn't happen frequently. So, some people are homeless and argue with their girlfriends, and it's pretty loud. And it's not just one couple, and it's not always a couple, it's something that you get used to, unless you need to get some work done or you need to get some sleep. So, what Andrew Wolnez does is, let's say this is a map of the street. Right here is the street. Here's the corner that I live on, right? So, what he'll do is he'll walk right over here, right on the sidewalk. And you know the difference between like a shout up the stairs and screaming at somebody that you're, in a domestic relationship with, and you're having one of those really super loud screaming fights. It's a very big difference. So, one of them is meant threateningly, and the other one is um, meant angrily. So, the shouting up the stairs, that level of volume, there's a difference between that, which is what Wolnez uses when he walks by, and what this guy and his girlfriend are screaming at each other. And so, one of the things that I don't like to have to put up is the issues that I've been having with that. Um, One of the important things about this video, though, um, there's a lady named Jennifer, and she is okay with everything being public. She is 100% okay with being recorded, and she's one of those people who says, I said what I said. And so, yeah, I absolutely, when there's an issue with somebody, I go closer to her, or anybody who is protective of me, obviously. Anybody who Wolnez will look at and possibly think twice about coming over or shouting anything or throwing anything at me, or, well, I don't have a vehicle that can kick the shit out of anymore. So, this video is specifically on the situation of me having to talk people out of whooping the crap out of him. I am so tired of telling people, no, what I need you to do, because, well, maybe I should tell you this scenario. What the police want you to do is, um, if you don't record it, then they pretend it's not happening. If you do record it, they say that they didn't see how it started, so they can't do anything. So if you're recording, and like literally, I had just started the recording, and I was going to talk to somebody to try to find somebody to turn in the situation earlier that morning, and he did it again. And, with the situation of him doing the shouting thing. So, um, this guy, who is not Andrew, when Wolnez walks by and he just shouts it in this general direction. He's shouting it literally in my general direction. He does know where I'm staying at, and he's made that abundantly clear. He has absolutely no problems with violating the protection order. So there's the situation where then if I record all the time, and let's say we're 30 seconds into a video or 36 minutes into it, um, he shows up harassing me, and that's why he gets recorded. He needs to just leave me alone. So then the cops tell me that the only reason that it happened is because I was recording him. Well, that's not the truth either. He was recorded doing things that are illegal, assaulting disabled people because he heard a friggin' rumor. It's not my fault that A&E tries to perpetuate that crap. Of course, I can't say that. You'll assume it's a delusion instead of looking it up, huh? Just kidding. Most of the viewers on my channel are well aware of the situation. They've gotten to follow it, a few of them, for quite a few years, because I'm aware that some of the people that get on my YouTube channel don't have the best of intentions. So then what I'm told is they can't do anything because somebody else has to turn it in. Somebody else has to be a witness, but anybody who's a witness, they say, oh, well, you can't make a report for somebody else. Like, no, they're trying to make a witness statement, but the cops will only listen to one side. They've already decided who the guilty party is, and they run with it, and they don't look back. So what I have to do is, instead of pointing it at Wolnez or in his general direction, I have to go find somebody else who's aware of the situation. Now, the first situation this morning, the gentleman that, uh, he's pretty close to here, and I was talking to him while he was putting stuff in his vehicle, and um, that's when Wolnez went by, and I tried to get this gentleman's attention, but between the stuff that he was doing and, having to move stuff and possibly the fact that I just wasn't loud enough, I don't want to have to shout. If I shout, then I get told I'm being irrational. But if I don't shout, then I'm not loud enough. So no matter what, I'm in a lose-lose situation, and I try to get this guy's attention so that he can verify that it is in fact and indeed Wolnez. And I already knew it was Wolnez. But, of course, I still needed somebody else to verify it. But the guy didn't hear me, so he just kept on working on his vehicle. So, there was another situation the other night where this guy, where Wolnez had walked by pretty late at night, and he screamed, cunt, and screamed it in my direction, but that guy who's yelling at his girlfriend most recently thought it was his girlfriend. So he started screaming stuff right back at her, but she wasn't there because, well, it wasn't her. Just, I don't know. I haven't really heard his girlfriend except when she's screaming, and her screaming doesn't sound like Wolnez shouting to me. But I guess that's just a matter of proximity, because sometimes they park further away, sometimes they park closer. The other thing is, there's been a couple of times where Wolnez has gone by and yelled stuff in my general direction, and then all of a sudden I get to hear one of these guys yelling for his girlfriend for half an hour to 45 minutes, just screaming her name over and over again. I'm like, a couple times he's asked me, if I knew where she was right after he was screaming, and like, I don't know where she was because it wasn't her that was yelling that stuff, it was Wolnez. But he's close enough to hear it. And of course, when you have a vehicle for a house instead of an actual house, the insulation isn't always the best. A lot of people are having to live in their vehicles these days or live in tents. So this was the second situation. I was literally going out to, well, try to get something done about the situation. I think I might have been wanting to go get something to eat too, but because of the people doing this stuff to me, I have to find somebody to walk with me. And I've got multiple situations where people have walked with me as well. Um, and in nearly all of those situations, I have to tell people I don't want anybody to hurt anyone. I don't want anyone getting hurt. And in this video, I think I probably said it 5 or 6 times, so I'm gonna have to go through the links. Now, this video is already 10 minutes long, and I've already been talking quite a bit. But in this, I approached her, and she said something to me, and I was gonna try to bring her attention to the fact that wolnez had just done it again. Now, if he sees people out and about when he does his walk, he doesn't usually do anything. Um, if he doesn't see anybody, he tries to do it quick enough that, well, I'm sure you guys are aware, if you've ever had to try to pull out your camera, you pull it out of your pocket, and then you have to unlock it, and then, well, first you pull it out of your pocket, press the on button, and then you have to unlock it. And then once you've unlocked it, you have to wait for it to load so that you can go over to the camera part so that it can load up the camera part so that you can go from photo over to video, and then you press play. So after you've gone through all of that, he's already pretty well down the street. So what he's trying to do is be sly and try to go by quickly enough that he doesn't get recorded. He'll walk by and just yell at the house and just keep on walking. Or he'll ride by on his bike real quick. He's been driving by in a car and honking too, which is just stupid. Actually, I'm looking for the video of that, but you gotta understand that a honk is only like a half a second worth of an otherwise rather long video. So I either have to catch that exact part or just after it where I'm talking about the situation to somebody and they'll let me know which group of videos it's in. Also, obviously, there is a lot more than just this, like I said. Um, this is the second time. What had happened is by the time she got done talking after I said hello to her and she said hello to me, wolnez was down the street. He tried hiding behind a car for a bit, but I wasn't pointing the camera in his direction, so he didn't need to worry about it. What I needed was for Jennifer to verify that it was Andrew Wolnez. Because, like, I'm doing everything that I'm told to do, and now I'm looped right back to the beginning. You get to see that it's focused on my face, it's not focused on anyone else. But then on this camera, I don't know how to make it flip in reverse and point the other direction, so I have to turn the whole camera. And what ended up happening is, so I'm going to tell you about a tactic they use in Greeley, Colorado. Um, the cartels came in, I guess is what the news said, where this technique come from. But what they do is they'll change clothes possibly 2 or 3 times in between whatever crime they've committed and wherever they're going. So basically you put on several extra layers. So he went by and he had a gray jacket on. And then that's when I was trying to point him out to Jennifer, and he was going around the block. Um, that's when he was trying to hide behind the SUV that was parked a little bit further up, or not SUV, it was a minivan, I think. And, he was ducking behind it. And I was like, he probably thinks I'm pointing the camera in his direction. And the camera itself was, but not the one that was activated. That one was pointed at me, as you can plainly see. So he took off his jacket and went around the block. And, well, as he was going around the block, he rolled the jacket up and put it under his arm like he'd just gone grocery shopping or something. Walked right by the place, within 30 feet of where I sleep every night. And that's when Jennifer started talking about going and thumping him a second time. And no, don't nobody need no thumping. But I also want to show you how much there really is to go through, because there is a shit ton. These are all from one file. This one's still open because I'm still recording. Matter of fact, I'm recording this right now on this little recording device. Sometimes I'll listen to a movie in the background as I'm reading stuff, just to give myself the right kind of white noise or whatever you want to call it. But this is just from the last few days right here. And, even from just today, there's, I don't know, 4 or 5 different ones with people threatening stuff or having just generally bad ideas. And I gotta interject and tell them, no, don't do that. Do not do that. I have a permanent protection order against him. What I needed somebody to do is to verify it. But also, there's a lot of people here with their own traumas and their own issues, and sometimes, well, they're pretty heavily involved in that. But once she was able to pull herself away from that, she realized there was an issue. And even though I don't agree with her solution, at least she wanted to implement a solution. My solution is to turn these people in together, but that's the thing, is that I needed somebody there to verify it with him. Even if I record it, if I record it up close, then the cops pretend that I approached him, and you can see in all of the videos, I literally never approach Wolnez, ever, under any circumstances. In that situation, it was important for me to say and do something. But now I'm having to go through my recordings and find all the situations where people wanted to tell me to do things that I'm not willing to do. One guy told me to shoot him with a pellet gun today. He said, since I have a permanent protection order against him, I'm allowed to do that. But I'm not willing to. Big difference there. And all these people telling me that they'll get a shillelagh and fucking whack him with it. Well, I tell them no to that too. I don't want anybody getting hurt. I'm not okay with this violence bullshit. We've got courts of law and we've got evidence, and it's unfortunate that both of those are completely ignored, especially by the people involved. The courts don't work because the people involved in running the courts don't work. So, with all these here, these are all sound recordings, but I also want to bring to your attention how many of them there are that I have to listen to. Some of them are only a couple of minutes long. A lot of them are just when I'm taking a walk for my safety. I always make sure that I'm recording going out in public because, these people do from time to time catch me alone, and that's why we've got so many recordings. And sometimes they try it the first time very publicly. This one right here has a lot of the stuff that I still have to go through. But this one is very specifically one set of files that I'm going through to find all the pieces I need. But I'm sending them in their entirety. It's not little bits and pieces. But as you see here, that's part of a whole bunch more files. And like I said, the 5 that you're seeing here are just the tip of the iceberg. This is all since I got out of jail, and there's a whole bunch of these. Like, I haven't even been able to go through all of them. Some of them have only a few, some of them have a whole bunch. They're all dated, so we know when they are. Like I said, oh, that's with the investigator. I need to go through those ones. Some of them are just a few of them, and some of them I haven't even gotten to go through yet. Um, with a lot of the stuff, I tell people, don't tell me anything that you wouldn't tell a police officer. And see, that one's got 20 of them in it as well that I haven't been able to go through. That one right there, you can see there's a lot of stuff here with Claire. And you're going to see a lot of that. She talks a lot. Like, I talk a lot too, but if she's going to help me to turn this in, she has to help me turn in the crimes that were committed against me, not just talk about the stuff that happened to her or interrupt me at the same point every time to tell me another story about herself. And a lot of these, like I said, I had to wait. Um, there's the situation with Russell and Brandon. Like, these are all situations at TFCC. Um, obviously, I've been going through them. I've been listening to them. Some of them are pretty long. Some of them are hours long. Also, I didn't have disability when I first got out of jail. I've had to take my disability money and start replacing things that were lost, stolen, or destroyed by law enforcement. It's amazing how they're allowed to get a hold of your stuff and then just lose it. So I'm showing you, here's a whole bunch more that I haven't been able to go through. Some of those are just walks where I'm making sure that I'm safe, and some of them are, well, here's even more of them that I haven't been able to go through. This one, I know for a fact this one has a lot of important stuff in it. Yes, it does. Absolutely. Very good. Good phone calls. If you have it recorded, then you can prove it's happening. Here's some more. This is with Mr. Torelli. That's a pretty important one because him and David, myself, and several others are having a lot of issues with the whole Shelly thing because, according to both of those guys, she is on heroin and she doesn't show up to work a lot. This is calls with other people, including the top head honcho, Marie Miller. It's obviously a situation where I'm doing what I'm told to. Attorneys told me to record everything, so I record everything. They told me if I talk to my grandma about it, then write that down. This is some of the stuff with Shelly, and there's recordings going all the way back, so obviously there's a lot. Then there's the stuff with Joanna Taylor Smith. We haven't even gotten into the psych evaluation stuff yet, or the head trauma. I think my next video after the one where I put all of these, I don't know, I think I have like 11 or 12 different instances where I'm having to explain to people just in the last week or so dude, don't hurt people. Do not hurt people. That's not what this is about. So, obviously, just there's a lot of it, a lot of evidence of me going to people for help, me trying to follow the instructions, and no matter what, when it comes to this video recording stuff, somehow everybody else is allowed to show their stuff. Everybody else who posts this stuff up, you'll put it up on the news and you'll pay attention to it. And here, like, there's just mass quantities of it. Obviously, there's also the situation where you get to hear, like Brian Wilgus, for example, and um, also with Jennifer and with David and with Seth, they've all stated very clearly that, nobody's going to mess with me while they're walking with me. Same thing with Mike. The reason for that is because of safety in numbers. And also, there's another lady here who, um, she's autistic as well, and I don't want to end up getting her targeted any further than she already is because she's already getting the shaft. Um, and she's nice to me. When she's having a bad day, she doesn't treat me like it's my fault she's having a bad day. She hooked me up with some electronic stuff. She decided she was just going to toss everything. So um, I gave her some cash for the stuff that she gave me, and it was able to help me up with hooking up all of my electronic equipment here and get it all running. And she also gave me some cigarettes last time I saw her, and I promised her I'd get her a pack, so I did. That's the thing about payday, you know. Basically, I pay a bunch of people for help that I don't get, and then at the end of the month, I have to beg, borrow, and plead because, like, I'm pretty physically screwed up. Also, because of people like Chris Kurth and uh, Carl Snell and Clint Snell and Leslie Snell and Andrew Wolnez and Chris Stafford and Robbie Farnsworth and James Murphy and a lot of other people that we got video footage of. They show that I have every reason to be afraid, and that, yeah, that right there will fuck you up mentally too. What's even worse is the responses by the other places that we called here. There's a bunch of hospital calls. There's a bunch of, and they go back for years too, by the way. Like my whole computer is full of stuff, and then I've got all these little USB things that are all friggin' full. And then there's, of course, all of the notes I gotta take about the whole situation, and very specifically, what I'm working on tonight is from just one piece of paper, and it's that one right there. There's three different people in the immediate area that have been an ongoing issue, so I'm going through and for the wolnez one, we're literally focusing on just that one video there. I haven't finished out writing out the name of it, but the times during it and things of that nature. Because that video, while I was talking to Jennifer, wolnez walked around the block and literally walked in between the people who own the house's vehicle and the house. So, I mean, this is usually where he's shouting at me from, so he doesn't have to shout very loud for it to still be hostile. And he does keep setting off the neighbors with that too, because the one guy who thinks it's his girlfriend, he'll start screaming and yelling, and then he'll come out and start yelling her name because he thinks it's her, and like she's not answering because it wasn't her. So then, with Jennifer being there today and the group of people she was talking to, wolnez wasn't going to do nothing. Of course, there's also, the fact that by the time that I came out and I was talking about seeing him and walked through the fence and he was there again, it was a situation where I needed to get over to somebody who was going to verify that it was, in fact, him. Um, so, of course, this is a thing that's ongoing. It sucks that I'm having to go through the stuff and find people with bad ideas and wanting to hurt people to show that, obviously this is the solution people have decided that there is for him because the police aren't going to do anything. And I'm not okay with anyone getting hurt. I'm not okay with anybody hurting him. I'm not okay with any of them getting hurt. I'm sorry this is a 30-minute video, but it's like 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm sleep deprived. I gotta friggin' pass out. This stuff on my computer, I'm gonna have to go through it all tomorrow. And of course, I put the approximate times here for some of the stuff that's in it, but there's a lot of different videos to go through, and obviously, I'm asking always for people to leave him alone, for them not to target him, for them not to harm him, for them not to hurt him. Just verify that it's him and help me to turn it in. Now, what are they likely to do since this video is me basically pointing it at my face the whole time? And, the first time, by the time I got it recording, he was walking away. Well, that's okay because I had the audio recording. It shows that I was trying to get somebody's attention. I was trying to point out that Wolnez was there, and I just was not heard. Um, the thing is, if I say, oh well, here's 2 people or 4 people or even 12 people that can verify it, you know, then I'm gonna have to listen to the excuse of, oh well, we don't see Wolnez in the video. It's pointed at you the whole time. Well, thank you very much. And also, like I said, they know it takes a minute to record. It's one of the things that I bitch about in nearly every single one of those situations where I have to pull it out after he's already gone. Or where I have to pull it out, like on the situation where I met him, where he was threatening me and accusing me all sorts of creepy shit that I didn't do. And, you know, the the thing is, he wants to try playing it off like I pretend that he assaults me every day, and that's not the case. See, this is the thing that they do to basically, it's called gaslighting. You know how it works, it doesn't need to be explained. I didn't need her to go whoop his ass. I didn't need these other people to go whoop his ass. I didn't need anybody to do anything special except to verify that it was him. Anyway, my computer just shut down from being idle, so I'm gonna go ahead and end this video. But there's a lot here. This is just part of what I have from the jail. That's just one file. So, um, as you can tell, with just that one little part on Wolnez right there being the focus of what I'm going through tonight, that should be pretty significant. It's kind of like after Alicia Bollinger wanted to pretend I was out to get her. She went missing 3 different times, and I helped find her all 3 times. No matter what she put me through. No matter what Natalie put me through when she disappeared, I did everything that I could to try to help find her. When Sarah Rubiolo disappeared, I did everything I could to help find her. When Hannah Pendergrass disappeared, I did everything that I could to help find her. When my little sister Tara disappeared, I did everything that I could to help to find her. It's just unfortunate that when people disappear, the ones that you care about the most are the women. There's a lot of people out here that are vulnerable. when it all comes down to it, there's a very select few crimes that are gender related in that direction. For the majority of crimes, a male is the most likely recipient. Um, so I'm gonna stop rambling and hopefully pass out. I had a bunch of stuff I planned on doing today, but making sure that I gather this stuff and show that it happened. And then there's the part where I'm told to call 911 when this stuff happens. You know, these people are not afraid to speak up. They're afraid of speaking to the local police, and for good reason. Anyway, obviously, I've said I'm gonna stop rambling a few times and it ain't happened yet, but here it is.